Hello and welcome to this tutorial on this L-shaped block that we are creating. So let's go ahead and start a part. And we'll start from scratch again, just so we can look at maybe a few different techniques. So the first thing I want to do is sketch that L on the front plane. So I'm normal 2 right now, and I can again turn off those planes. Then I'm going to choose the line and make sure I start my point of the line, my first click, right on the origin. You'll need that little yellow box with that little circular symbol in it. And we'll just go up, over. We're clicking at each end point of the line. And you'll notice when I get close to becoming horizontal, from that point, it gives me a little indicator with that dotted line. That just helps me make sure that I have all of my horizontal and vertical relationships for each line. So again, if one of your lines is not horizontal, we click on that line, or vertical or horizontal. You can click on the line, and then on the left here, you'll choose either horizontal or vertical. Now we go up to the Smart Dimension, and we dimension our part. So this one is 20. This one is 15. This is 100. And this one is 75. So that looks pretty good. So then we, top right, we click on the sketch. So now you can rotate it, that center mouse button or the arrow keys. Make sure your sketch is selected, and then go to Extruded Boss. So again, since we're picking the origin to be in the center, we're going to extrude from the mid plane, and the overall width of the part is 80. So now if we look at our planes again, we have that right in the middle. So we will use that here in a minute. So we'll turn our planes back off, and now we'll choose this face to sketch on. So we choose sketch, and to get to normal 2 here, you can hit the space bar to get the orientation window, and then this normal 2 button will bring us straight into the middle. So now I click a line, and I start at the top edge, come down. So I'm in the line command, but if I bring my cursor to the end point of that first line, I can get an arc. So depending on how you come out of that line will tell you where. And notice that anytime I'm directly horizontal, that dotted line appears. So that means this point and this point now are straight across. So we continue with our line, and then we close. So once we close a sketch, so it's completely enclosed, you'll notice that the area becomes shaded. So that's just telling us it's a shaded area. So we'll turn on that plane, and we'll put that plane right on, or that center point of the circle. So you can select the plane, select that center point, and hold the control down while you're selecting both of them. Will select both planes. So I click once, then I hold the control, and then I click again to select the plane. So now both the plane, the front plane, and that point 7, are selected. So now I can make them coincident. So if it is coincident, that means it's always on that plane. So it cannot come off that plane. It can grow and shrink, but it cannot come off that plane. So now we'll add the other dimensions, which is this dimension of 35 and this dimension of 30. Then we can close that sketch. So it's selected, and now we're doing an extruded cut. So we can extrude through all because we want to go through the entire part. So there's that slot. So now let's look at the top side. So let's go ahead and click. So I'll do two tutorials. I'll do this one where I'm doing everything in a cut, and then I will show a little bit different technique in a different video. So I'm going to draw two circles. So I'm clicking once for the center point and then once for the exterior, and then I'll choose a line and I'll create those triangles in the corner. And then I'm going to create one more line, and this is called a center line. A center line is there for construction purposes, so you can use it to make things symmetric about this center line. So I know that I'm going to control select both of the centers of the circles and make them vertical. So that means that their centers are always vertical. And I'm going to select the centers again. So I click the one, control, and click the other one. And then I also continue to hold down the control and select the center line. And now I can get this symmetric relationship. So we're going to click symmetric. So that means that these circles are always vertical and always the same distance from that plane that we chose as our symmetry plane. So they're symmetric about this line. So we will add our dimension. We'll dimension between. That's 40. And then also the dimension from this point to this edge is also 40. So the last thing to do is we need to make the circles, we need to put their diameter. So that is 20. So you notice this one is still blue because we can still change. So by clicking and holding, we can see what is not fully defined. So now we want to select the exterior and hold control and select the exteriors of the circle, and we will make them equal. So those are equal circles. So now both of those are fully defined. Now we just have to work on our triangles in our corners. So we'll do the same thing where we select all three, and by holding the control when you click on all three, selects them all, and we want to make those angles symmetric about the center plane there. So the call out is for 25 by 45. So we will dimension this 25. And then if we click one line and then the other, that's where we'll get our angle to come. I'll make that 45. So there's our three shapes, and our sketch is now fully defined, so we can close it. So now with our sketch selected, we go extrude cut, rotate it, again with that center mouse button. And again, we'll choose through all because that will put that cut through everything. So it's looking pretty good now. So we've got all those features in there. And this last thing is this little tab on this back corner. So I'm going to choose this face to sketch on. So I click on it and go sketch, type the space bar, and go normal 2. So now this is a little bit of a strange shape, but basically it's I'm going to choose a line. So you draw a line and then an arc. then a line, and an arc. So you'll notice this arc has the tangent symbol, as is this one, but this one needs to be tangent to this. So you select that line and control select this other line, and we can make it tangent. The last thing we want to do is you always want to make sure that you close your sketches. So you need a line between those starting and end points, and that will create that shaded part in there. So now all we need to do is add some of those dimensions that are on the drawing. So we'll dimension this at 20. We'll dimension this at 30. We'll dimension this at 50. And we'll dimension from this line to this line is 20. So once we add that last dimension, you'll notice everything goes into black, and then our sketch says fully defined. So we click OK. So now all we need to do is extruded boss. So it's actually extruding the wrong way. So what we can do is over here next to blind, we can click this reverse direction button, and it will switch to extrude the other way. So the thickness of that part, according to the drawing, is 10. And we click OK. And there is our part. So if you click spacebar and click on this one, isometric, that will just put it in the isometric view. So there is our L block from scratch. Thank you.